So we go straight from the mountains out into the country, and I am trying to remember which house this is. We have been here before. All right, they got the air on, and I hear the growl. The old Goodman gas pack. Cold air. I'm going to say, at the risk of quoting Steve Lab, she's a leaker. Cap missing. Let's put some gauges on this thing and see what's happening. Alright. We hooked up to it. Oh, look at this. You hear that compressor growling. Leave it to Goodman to let a compressor run under those conditions. She is below zero on the low side and about 50, 48, 49, and 50 psi on the high side, and the compressor is still running. So before I look, I'm going to throw a little bit of charge in it. I know it might be wasting it, but I'm going to throw some in it just to cool that compressor off so it doesn't shut down while I'm trying to decide what to do. Probably find a couple of tubes rubbing or something. I mean, Goodman's all leak, but they're usually easy to fix. More often than not. Alright, I hooked up the jug and bled it, and I'll tell you what, I bet you this thing will quiet way down as soon as we give it a little gas. It is roaring. I mean, it wants it. I think I hear it flying out of something in there while we're putting it in. Oh yeah. I know this fan's making so much racket you probably can't hear it. Well, we're just going to have to take the risk that it gets hot when we shut it off. We're not getting anywhere. Got some in it. Look at that. Look at all that. Makes you want to say friends don't let friends buy Goodmans, or friends don't let friends work on Goodmans or something. I mean, that's just... Anyway, something's going on immediately in these tubes. Let's open this thing up and see what we find out. Alright, I hear it. See all these things when they rub in here, but... We're going to find this leak and probably just weld it up and go back to working, but well, at least I don't have to recover it. I can just stand here a minute and it'll be empty. I got to looking closer and realize this low side's broken out. Anyway, it's just hanging. I'll be able to pull this out so we can access it. It'll be easy enough to weld that up. Easy enough to weld that up. So I'll be out of here pretty quick. Alright, so the spot is right here. There's another spot I'm worried about. You see it? Worried that spot might be next. And whatever else it's been rubbing against, I tell you what, it's a bunch of spaghetti up in here for this thing. I don't know how long this kind of repair is going to last. Might ought to pull this lid off. See if I can see a little bit better what I need to do. Tell you what, these things was junk when they came off the dock. See if I can get the light on and show the exact spot. Sure does look like something sharp got in it. Maybe we're better off without the light. And it's just the low side gauge, you know, fill tube, whatever you want to call it. We'll try to raise it up away from these wires. And that is thin right there. That's next. I think I'll pull this up here and weld that. And that. Put some nitrogen in it and see if it holds. Alright, let's get this fixed. And for those of you that want to know why I'm not going to sand the copper first, it's because I don't need to. See, that was getting ready to give. That's probably going to be good. I'm going to let it cool off slowly. And I'm going to run some nitrogen through this and pressurize it. Make sure it holds before I bend this all back down and put it in place. One thing I don't do is I don't cool it off with water or rag or anything like that. I guess if you waited long enough you could, but that tempers the material, which makes it brittle and want to crack. And if you heat it and let it cool slow, it's actually annealed and it will remain a soft copper properties material. Other than where we put our alloy brazing rod at, it's going to be a little bit tough, but the copper itself will survive the heat a lot better if you let it cool down slow. So that's what I'm going to do. See if we can see where I welded it. I don't know if we can see this spot or not. And I just filled it in and made it thicker where it was about to give. It was about to go all the way through. Somebody's popping off something over there. So let's let it cool off for a few minutes. See what we got. All right, we're gonna fill it up with nitrogen, maybe just a couple 100 pounds. And we'll see what it'll hold. The customer came around here and had to explain to him what was going on and what we were doing. So it held nitrogen for, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes without even budging, not even a tenth. So I think we're good. So I went ahead and started the vacuum. I'm going to go ahead and bend all this back down into place and get it all mounted and the door back on. I might have to unhook this for a minute, but I'm going to get it back together and let the vacuum run and get the scales out. Get this thing going. Right. So I tried to feel up in there and bend them around to where they're not going to rub any of these others and rub anything else. But I tell you what, that's just about a lost cause. All this spaghetti in here. Pretty bad. The Goodmans are famous for just being slapped together. So I'm going to pull it on down. Just in the microns now, 1700. I'm going to pull it on down and then I'll weigh the charge in. Then we'll put that cover back on and crank it up. Walk away. So with this big of a leak, obviously the actual refrigerant pressure was on 0. So what we were seeing on the gauge was the compressor actually just pumping ambient air and oxygen. You know, this outside air just was sucking in the low side, and that's how we had 50 pounds of pressure. Not bad for the compressor to do that with no base to it, no refrigerant, no gas, no liquid, no nothing, just pumping air. So anyway, I am going to let this vacuum run a bit because I'm sure it's completely full of moisture, and I don't know how long it's been out. I really don't. I just got the call yesterday, and it was late yesterday, and we already had so many, and it's Sunday afternoon right now. Probably about 3 or 4 o'clock by now, I guess. So we're going to let this thing run a little while and get it on down. Only at 1400 right now. So I'm going to see if I got a Gatorade or something with me here, and I can sit down a few minutes somewhere. Alright, 396. That's a good number for me. Let's get this thing charged up and get out of here. Been here too long. Long day. Beautiful to be out here in the country though. Sometimes I'd like to live in the country, and sometimes I'm glad I live in the city. I don't know if those are horses or cows. I can't see that good that far. I see those swishy tails, looks like horses over there. All right, let's charge this thing up. Okay. Let's see what it says. 220 ounces. So that ought to be easy enough to put in. I've got the jug open, so I'm just going to zero it. And I've bled this hose. I'm going to let it start, just let her start eating. In she goes. Put as much in this high side as I can. I heard the click of the pressure switch. Everything looks and sounds okay. Sometimes that liquid will move stuff around, but I believe we're all right. All right. This ought to be fun. No handle. Let's see. I believe it goes in that way. Back up and running. This thing is still just loud as a freight train. Take some new gaps on it. This disconnect really needs to be replaced. Look at the whip. This whip's not long enough. Missing that handle inside, which that's not a big deal. It'd be nice to have the wires completely covered. Something tells me that's not going to stay. Good. Sticks it back in there a little bit. Alright. About an hour and a half on this thing is all she's worth to me. Getting close to 2 hours. See you on the next one.